Spring is right around the corner. That means you're likely going to see more wildlife around. But how does Michigan ensure that our wildlife continues to thrive for generations to come? A great example of this is John Ball Zoo's FrogWatch program. Here to tell us more about what FrogWatch is Bill. Good morning, Bill.
Great, thanks for having me.
Hey, I'm glad you're here. Can you tell us a little bit about what is FrogWatch? What does that mean, the FrogWatch program?
Well, FrogWatch is a nationwide citizen science frog monitoring program. And by citizen science means we're crowdsourcing important information on how frogs and toads are doing. And the big take-home message is there, you don't have to be a frog expert to go out and do it. So we're utilizing the fact that frogs make an advertisement call, kind of a here I am, whether they're trying to attract mates or intimidate other rival frogs. And you can go out and count those calls, and you don't have to be a frog expert to do it. It contributes some really important information for frog biologists to study these guys. And it's a really good chance to get out and explore the spring nature.
Hey, Bill, first off, glad that you didn't leave. I'm glad you didn't leave toads out. That's good. As a Todd, I was, the toad nickname stuck with me for quite a while, so I want to make sure they're included. But you talked a little bit about the data that you get from this and why that program is important. Can you speak more? Can you expand on that a little bit?
Sure. So I think a lot of people have probably heard that amphibians are declining, and amphibians across the planet are declining. At this point, close to half of amphibians have been shown for their populations to be dwindling, and at least a third, probably more, amphibians are actually threatened with extinction. So here in Michigan, we have about 13 or 14 species of frogs, depending on which expert you talk to. And what's really cool about here in Kent County is that 12 of those species are found in Kent County. So there's lots of opportunity and there's lots of biodiversity right here in Kent County that we can go out and keep track of what's going on. It's also a really important indicator of wetland health, since frogs are dependent on small bodies of water that aren't necessarily protected in a lot of our laws. It's a good way for us to keep track of how wetlands are doing.
Yeah, it's amazing to hear that much of the frog population is dwindling and that so many species are right here in Kent County. You might call us a hot spot or a hop spot. Sorry, I had to, Bill. So this program that you've been doing over the years, tell us how it's been benefiting those populations.
Well, it gives us important information on where rare species are, invasive species. It's going to be a really important information on when frogs start calling, because if that synchronization changes with climate change, that might have really important impacts. It's also a really important way for people to get involved with frogs and toads and get to learn about them in a really fun way and learn about the wetlands and the habitats and the frogs and toads that are around them. So it's been a really great opportunity for people to learn.
You know, Bill, I got to be honest, there's nothing more exciting to my daughters than when they find a frog or a toad, right? So can they get involved in this program? Who can get involved in the FrogWatch program?
Basically, anybody who's interested can come out and take advantage of FrogWatch. It's the protocol is set up so it's relatively easy, and you can do as many or as few sites as you want, and you can pick any site you want. So if you just have a wet spot in your backyard that you want to keep track of, that's the way to do it. And then you could go to the John Ball Zoo's FrogWatch webpage, which is jbzoo.org/FrogWatch. And I think we have that up there on the graphic. And there's a click on the registration. It's a virtual training. There's some information on different frog and toad calls there. And it's pretty easy and it's a lot of fun. And it's really important data.
And really quickly, I know the training's happening. You have that 2-hour training on March 27th, but what does it look like to be part of the program? Are you literally just going out and counting frogs, listening to frogs? Do we get to pick them up? What are they doing?
So you don't have to get your feet wet, and you don't have to catch frogs.
Okay.
So you go to a wetland and you wait by the wetland for 3 minutes, being very quiet, and then you listen for 3 minutes. And you don't have to count individual frog calls. We have a scale, so it's basically 0 frogs to many frogs calling scale. So it's a relatively easy protocol, and you just have to be able to stand next to a wetland or sit next to a wetland and listen for frogs.
Sounds like a pretty simple process, Bill. But now if I could just get my youngest to be quiet for 3 minutes in a row. Hey, the training event is happening again Saturday, March 27th, 3 to 5. You want more information, jbzoo.org/FrogWatch. FrogWatch, and you can be part of this great program. Thanks again for the time, Bill. You want to learn?
Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. You want to learn more about conservation efforts that are happening around the state of Michigan? There's the website, Here for My Outdoors. That's here for mioutdoors.org.